Baruch Hashem, today's Chaf Aleph El Shnas Hakel. We are today the 24th day in the limud of the Hemshech Samach Vov of the Rebbe Rashab. We're here in the middle of the Maamer Viכולו, השמים. So we discussed in the Maamer Viכולו, השמים, we're discussing how Ratzin and Keser is different than all the other spheres. The conversation was really going about the idea where Keser is higher than the idea of Zman. Zman is created by Ratzin V'Shuv, coming and going, or drawing and settling. Spashtus and Histalkus. Keser is higher than that. Keser is not really Amshacha. It's more Nichla Batzmusay. It doesn't become its own level of It's more the level of Mati V'loi Mati. So yesterday we kind of concluded by saying how, although that since Ratzin is higher than Zman, b'meila it's like this idea of Bli Gvul Yom Shekulei Aruch. It's long at the beginning, equally like it's at the end, since there is no difference. Something that's usually long is long at the end. Ratzin is long equally at the beginning and equal at the end, because it's Bli Gvul. We concluded yesterday by saying that Ratzin still has Epes HaShaychus to Zman, and we'll start from there, the end of page Mem Vov. V'hinei b'chinas haratzin anal. This level of Ratzin, Hagam de'ene shayach bo b'chinas hazman, even though it's not shayach zman in it, as we said, it is the source of Zman. V'hinei b'chinas haratzin ugam kim b'chinas er v'ziv levat. The level of Ratzin is also just a light and a shine, which means, in a sense, it's no different than any other Ella, it's not. It is different because it's the beginning of the Amshacha of the drawing of the light. It's still a shine. It's not Atmos itself. That's why it does have this idea of spreading and lack of spreading, like we called it earlier, Mati v'loi Mati, which is very, very different than Ratzin V'Shuv, but it's still also not the same like Etzem. Shuinin Amshacha v'Iskalu is the idea of being nimshach outside, being drawn out, and then being recombined in. The common question is Bar Le'il, it's not its own entity. It's only tilting the Atmos. It's an Atmos wants something. So Tak, it's not a koyach on its own, but it's still something kiviyachol separate. Before the Eibishter wanted something, it's not shaykh to say that he wants. Because it's not the actual level of Atmos, since there's something that wants. Even though the levels of Ratzin V'Shuv is not shaykh, there's still the level of Mati V'loi Mati, which, as we translated earlier, it's mispashas, ve'enim mispashas, spreading and not spreading, a type of coming out, which is in no way Ratzin V'Shuv. Shugam kin in mispashas v'skalus. Yeah. Shum zeh arei makar al kapanim b'kines Ratzin V'Shuv shar. So it's the source of Ratzin V'Shuv, which is found in the this that is in a level of drawing back to the Eibishter and settling back in the Kalim. This is because originates and is created from its source, which is the Mati V'loi Mati in the source. Loi Mati becomes Ratzoi at lower levels, and from Mati comes to Shuv. Fine. It's at least a source for Zman. Even though it's unlimited, since it has Mati V'Mati, El Kapanim has a level of Zman. So this kind of changes a little bit about what we said earlier, but El Kapanim, the theme that Ratzin is higher than other eres because it doesn't really have Zmanim still stands. Through doing mitzvahs, now we get a level of ratzon from atzmut she'ein shaykh shamchinas iskalos ispashtus klal, which is not even shaykh to a level of combining and spreading. Gam lebchinas mativ lemati, not even mativ lemati. V'nenu, what does this mean? What is this idea? The yichud kutshabrichu shchinte, this that we combine the Eibush there's atzmos with the ora mamale shenasa the mitzvahs that we do through mitzvahs zeros and hamid the which is real will. V'agasham, that I go over there in Tanya. Shezayin and I'm talking gvuras b'chsadim that he came in. It's making the gvuras sweet through chesed. Shezayin and tleisa chivarti darach anbin shemchinas chasadim that he came in. Which this is the 13 levels of arich, which then which are really the chasadim of atik. What does this mean? Atik, which is primis hakeser, which is higher than his chalkus of iris. Yeshchinas chasadim and gvuras. There's still a level of chesed and gvura, even though the iris are not yet spread, are not yet ischalchus. B'chinas gvuras that he came in, u'shenimshach b'chinas makar chaim lachas b'chinas tzimtzum. Gvuras in atik, in the one, in whatever sense it is, because there is still, it's not at any way a level of iris like we know now, and for sure not in Kalim, but al kapanim there is a ura chesed and there is a ura gvura. So the idea of gvura is that it's a source for tzimtzum. I think we said earlier in the Maimer, where we were talking about the different levels, is havos tachtin me'elyon maybe. We mentioned a little bit what the iris of atik are. Spend 30 seconds on this. Don't see it right now. Look at it later. Fine. So they become the source for tzimtzum. So that you shouldn't get the atzmusar, you should get an aura through tzimtzum. That's what the gvuras vatikim are. The shiyah b'chinas istalkus miyad m'kara, but then it should right away go back to its source. This is the whole idea of mativ lemati. And again, what does it do? It's a mucker for ura tzimtzum, but right away chayzer v'nichlal. So it never actually becomes a because it's just a mucker for the ura tzimtzum, and it's chayzer v'nichlal right away. That's the idea of mativ lemati. Gvuras are flames of fire. Which is the idea of flaming and being recombined. Close in and new, the general idea is through gvuras there's only a light and a shine. That's why it's shaykh to have recombining, because again recombining is only shaykh when you are separate to an extent. This level of the source of life. And this is the source of Ratzah V'Shuv for the Chayes of the Oilmas. Like we said earlier about Kesher. So we see even in Atik Yemen where this idea of Gvuras, Gvuras is the source of Tzimtzum, but it's Chayes of Nichal Miyat, like Yush Be'esh. Amnam B'chinas Chasadim da Atik Yemen, Ohepech Mamash. Chasadim is the opposite. It's like water which goes from a high place to a low place, which their entire entity does not change at all from the way they were, from their nature. Their nature to be drawn, which fires ideas to be to leave and go from bottom up. So it could not be drawn down. It needs tzimtzum because it's against its nature to draw down that. Against its nature. So it has to be through tzimtzum. So that's one reason why you need tzimtzum for Eish. But also fires or gvuras, tzimtzum is to go up. Which is the idea of hiding. Anything that's drawn through gvuras, so tzimtzum has to be through tzimtzum because again you're doing a giloy, some sort of it's tzimtzum's idea of hester as well, even within Amshacha. It's only a light, it's not the actual thing itself. To be redrawn, to draw to do Hamshacha and then to recombine, to reconnect. All it is to draw down, not at all to come back up. Here you have Atzmus without Tzimtzum because there's no Rihiskalus, there's no Chayzav Nichal Niyad. Through mitzvahs, through this chasadim, you could take the gvuras and make it sweet because you take the level of gvuras v'atikemin, which it's teva, symptom and istalkos, and your nimam shechit lamata, the way they really are, the meileh becomes a p'china v'amtaka. The hainush mitzvatla symptom, get rid of symptom, umer p'chinas atzmos, even in the level of gvuras. P'china zu, p'yotze p'chinas hamshacha atzmos, since you have atzmos being drawn in this mamish, ein a shaykh p'chinas hamshacha v'skalus, it does not have this idea of drawing down and coming recombined, and there's pashtos, which we said earlier, is like the idea of mati v'loy mati, spreading and coming right back. So we see that the rotzen of mitzvahs has this idea of it's a different type of rotzen, not anything like we said up till now, which is like the rotzen of Brias Olam. The rotzen of Brias Olam, even though it's a rotzen, so it's higher than Zman, it has a shaykhs to Zman. This is Atmos itself, which is like Chasadim, which is just Amshacha without any Riskalos. The Nibtza move on Mikol Anal, so we understand from all of the above. It's the level of will, which is the source to make the worlds. Source of Zman. Since it's only a shine. It has level of Mativ Lemati, which is the idea of Spashtus and Skalos. In the mitzvahs, the level of mitzvahs, or Amshachas Pchinas Atzmos. It's drawing down Atzmos, she'ein sham gam makar v'shesh p'chinas Zman, which doesn't have any source for Zman at all. Going back to what we said in the previous Maamar. The Maamar before that, Nikra Oisin Ritzayin Shel Makim. We're doing the Eibishter's will. Why? Because now we're doing the real Ratzon of the Eibishter, L'hamshik P'chinas Eirsev HaSeviv Kol Almin, which is higher than Oilmas. P'chinas Makim, the Malakam, Ad Yam Lamata, like we said in the last paragraph, Hamtakas HaGvuris, that it's Nimshak Shaloyal De Tzimtzum. The level of Ratzon, which is Shaykh to the Oilamos, since it has a source form of Malik Alamin, how could you now draw down the Ur that will be in Makar Zman? This Ur is like the source for the limited Ur. That it shouldn't be unlimited. When the Ratzon itself is the source of limitation, and that's where the source of will comes. The mitzvahs, the will in mitzvahs, which does not have a source of limitation. And all it is to draw down lamata, the same way it's up there. There's a davke nimshach p'chinas ritzayin yisbarach b'makim. This could draw the Eibishter's will in makim of Agbala, in a place. Oyster ritzayin shel makim that ishkam b'chinas makim uzman lo yi Agbala d'makim uzman. It's not going to have the limitation of makim uzman. V'zeu shkasim b'dashaba lakoil yesh sikusim. Again, we said earlier l'chol tichla reishi case. We started this Maamar bringing that down in relation to Viכולו, השמים, that l'chol yesh sikusim, everything has a limitation. Shamayim v'aretz yesh lem sikusim. The gam p'chinas haratzin, the brias ha'olam, ime yosef b'chinas b'ligvul la'achre, even though the way it is on its own, it's b'ligvul. B'chamakim am shechasa, the way it's drawn down, yesh p'chinas ketzuk vul, it has a limitation. The ein noy nimshach b'gilu lamata, and will not be drawn down, revealed. Yesh makar agbal d'zman ha'makim gam ba'aratzin, because there is a source of limitation, even in the will. Chutz me'atayra. This is all besides for Torah, she'ein bas tikusim, which does not have limitations. Find a ratzin, the mitzvahs. It's the will of mitzvahs, shu bli gvul, which is unlimited. Since Atzmos gets drawn in the ratzin and mitzvahs, which doesn't even have a source for time and place. Therefore, so through drawing down this level, we have the revelations even in Zman HaMakim. This is what we said. If you say Vayechulu, you're a partner with the Eibishter. This is how we say Vayechulu Hashmayim. שנמשך באילומס, בשמיים וארץ, ובבחינת גבול. The early is limited. אבל כשאומר ויכולו, when a Yid comes and says ויכולו, הרי הוא עדus כידוע, this is testimonial, you're testifying, שמעיד שנברא אילום בששת ימי בראשית. וביום השביעי, the seventh day, Shabbos, the Eibishter rested. הרי זה מכלל קיום מצוות Shabbos, you are, this is like part of keeping Shabbos. Which that's a mitzvah. This is the end of that pasuk. This shows how the mitzvahs are unlimited. They're very, very wide. Of bli gvul, even in this level of Vayichulu. Thus you partner with the Eibishter. How could you have a partner with the Eibishter? Who is with me? This is an actual creation. Aval kasher nivra olam, when they actually created the world, the Eibishter gave the world in the heart of the person, gave him a koyach and gave him an avodah to draw down the revelation of godliness in the world. This is done through she'omer, that you say vayichulu. What's the whole part of saying Vayichulu? Shu'inyan kiyo mitzvahs Shabbos. This is keeping the mitzvahs of Shabbos, and therefore Nasa should if you become a partner. Shemamshech gilu erin siv b'shamayim v'aretz, to draw down the revelation of the Eibishter in Shamayim v'aretz. Inyan shutaf, the idea of shutaf uchaver, it's like a friend. Mishkatzav yichevras chavesh prisecha. U'matagimina, the targum of your friend chevrascha v'hi Shutafascha. Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. This shutaf of kiyum mitzvahs, which creates a shutfas, ma'aseh b'reishis, in yenichud kuch b'richu shchinda, and that's how they ma'aseh mitzvahs. Like we said at the beginning of the Maamar. So this is Vayichulu Hashemayim v'aretz. Sheyesh lam ketzuk gvul. Shegam ha'ratz in the B'riyas Olam v'chinas ketzuk gvul, like we asked in the beginning of the Maamar. L'chayre, what's the difference of the ratz in the B'riyas Olam and the ratz in the mitzvahs? Here we answer. Ratz in the B'riyas Olam is v'chinas ketzuk gvul. Why? Because it's halach upon him asher shmoker to ratzu v'shuf. We have a different ratzin, the atzmos of the ratzin of the mitzvahs. We have the yichud kutsha b'ruch shchinde in the olam itself. This is the idea. You become a partner to the Eibishter. You draw down the light of the Eibishter in the world. This is the idea of combining the Eibishter with the Shechina, Seven Kalamim, Malak Kalamim, higher than Atzmos, in Atzmos. So this Maamar, in a few sentences, basically explained at length the difference, explained the Ratzin of Ma'aseh B'reish, the Ratzin of Mitzvahs versus the Ratzin of B'riyas Ha'olam, where the Ratzin of B'riyas Ha'olam is a Asher Shemakar Zmanim Al Kol Panim, and therefore has somewhat of an Agbola, and therefore cannot actually become a Shayra Shumakar for the Oilmas. And I think even though this is a level of Agbola, we said that this is Madregas Rashbi, interestingly. Right? Madregas Rashbi was mentioned about this Ratzin, which we could talk about, but the Ratzin of Mitzvahs is much higher than that. It's a Ratzin of Bligvul, Yimamshech Ta'atzmos itself. I don't have the printout for the next few lines, so I'll just read it here. Start Shabbos Parshas Noach, Daf Samach Vov. Few lines for the next Maamar just to finish today's daf. And Shabbos Noach, this is the Mafteach says that we're going to talk about in this Maamar Oisim Ritzoni Shel Makim. Again, we're continuing talking about Oisim Ritzoni Shel Makim, a Ratzin Pnimi Uvechol Me'odecha. Fine. So we're going to expand on this idea l'cha'ira of Oisim Ritzoni Shel Makim and see how it applies in a Oifen of Ratzin Pnimi. So we already mentioned two levels of Ratzin. We mentioned within Ratzin there was a Ratzin Chitzoni and a Ratzin Pnimi. We mentioned that I think 2 Maamarim ago. And now we'll continue talking about these in Yanu. Start by just reading Ela told us Noach Ish Tzadik, Noach was a Tzadik, Pirush Rashi L'Lamedcha. It comes to teach us the Ikar told the same Tzadikim, the main told us or children or births of Tzadikim is Maisim Toivim. For Memed HaShabim Koimah. That Rashi means that from Memed HaShabah to Isa. Adu d'chsiv pri tzaddik eitz chayim. This is what it says. Fruit of a tzaddik is a tree of life. Mayim peideseim shel tzaddikim. Mitzvahs u'masim tovim. What are the fruits of a tzaddik? Peides u'masim tovim. Toldos u'lashon gilui. Children are giving birth. This idea of revelation. Oimer. This is what he says. Ela toldos noach. The ikar toldos. V'agiluyim shaloi hein Torah hein mitzvahs u'masim tovim. The main revelations of a tzaddik is Torah is mitzvahs u'masim tovim. Tzarich lavin mashel b'zeh. What is the Medrash Rabbah taking away from it? If we say that the ikar is mitzvahs, that means there's something else that's not the ikar. What is that? We can't say that he's taking away physical children. We can't say that's not your children. And Revelations we're removing something which is shaykh to mitzvahs. Shugan kin gilui. But the ikar of gilui and Toda is mitzvahs and matzim tevim. So we have to understand what's the kavanah in this. So we'll stop here and we'll do a little bit of a haskol of Elder to tell us next tomorrow. Again, Mirz Hashem. A guten Tag.